Hey, we're on here. Just back for another one. So this week I got a little bit done on the Acadian or Nova, depending on who you are and where you are in the world. We got this subframe in. We swapped over. We got the new motor on here. We got the manual transmission in. We got the clutch linkage all hooked up there. We got the brakes switched over to power brakes. Got the new shifter in there. Tunnel. Working on a console down. It's been a busy week, but yeah, most things aren't completely done. Why don't you grab a cup of Joe and sit down, and I'll walk you through it. What I want to do, I actually went on YouTube and see if I could find somebody else who has done this. So I'm not even sure I can do this because I can't find anybody else who's done it. But I want to take this front clip off in one piece, meaning I want to take the fenders, the hood, the rad support, the grill, all that stuff off in one piece. I'll use my engine hoist over there and take it off in one piece. The benefit to that would, I don't know, just keep it cleaner, I guess. And I need to change out this subframe anyway. So how nice would it be, instead of like pulling the transmission by itself, pulling the motor by itself, swapping out the subframe, if I can just pull this off, and I think I can pull this off. Some of the challenges are going to be, so we have these bolts down here. For the rad support, I think that should come off okay. We got some bolts up here on the fender, so you can see. Let's see here. So back there, I'll be taking those off. I'm gonna leave the inner fender attached. When we come back here, there's some fender bolts back there up top the door, and then there's some on the bottom down here as well. So what I'll do is I'll start getting at that, and then I think I might just leave this rad attached to the rad attached to the motor for now. Just take the clip itself off. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm gonna try and do here. I'll put you guys pretty much on what do you call that? Fast forward or time lapse, I guess it's called. And I'll kind of chime in when I feel there's something important worth noting. But I think that's pretty much going to do it. So I'm going to get out of here. I personally think the biggest thing challenging for us will be the wiring. So some of this wiring is just atrocious. So I think what I'll do is I'll disconnect the wiring right from the junction box here, the fuse box, if you will. We'll shimmy that out and see how much of it we can take. Some of it we won't be able to, like we'll have some wiring going to, say, the distributor. So we'll have to disconnect that. We'll have some wiring going to the starter, so we'll have to disconnect that, and on and on and on. Then we got some mystery wires, and but yeah, let's go through and see how much we can take with us and what needs to be left behind. Like we're gonna have some wiring going down to that fuel pump. We're gonna have to find that and disconnect it, and etc., etc. So first things first, let's disconnect this there and see where that puts us for starters. Yeah, this one here inside the door. Yeah, with a wrench. I don't know if you're gonna get a ratchet in there. Just kind of tight quarters, to be honest. But if you got a ratcheting wrench, I find that works pretty good. So there's two down here on the bottom. Oh. So there's two down here on the bottom. One came out, and I don't know where the other one is, but one came out unbolted and one broke out on both sides. So now I think all I got left is that guy there and that guy on top on both sides. I'm going to double check my wiring, and I think we're going to be able to yank this out right away. Let me give you guys a fresh battery. Okay. So do I have everything? I hope so. Looks like I'm loose there. I'm loose here. I'm loose here. I'm loose there. I think I want to shut my hood just to kind of keep everything kind of together. I think I want to move this rad forward a little bit. What about this wiring though? If that's staying, then this should probably come off, eh? Yeah. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll disconnect this. And yeah, let me do that real quick. Yeah, let me just chop this. I can come back and fix it after. All right, anything else? I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna try and move this forward just a hair, just like that. And then I think what we're gonna do, close this hood, run a strap over it, and I don't know, let's see what happens, I guess. Okay, now let's take a look. Previous owner suspected this frame to be bent. Not so sure I agree. Looks pretty good. Know what I mean? I don't see any signs of it. I don't know if you do. Hey, if you do, if I'm missing it, help me out here. Far from perfect. But typically you'll see a bend, like if it's hit in the front end, you'll see it up front here. I don't see nothing. Had a Camaro once that actually was back here, you could see it, but I don't see nothing there either. Next step will be removing that subframe. There's not all that much holding it on. There's a bolt here. You can see it's captured nut there. And then there's another one. It's about back here somewhere on that same frame rail. So that's 2 bolts here, 2 bolts there. We have to drop the drive shaft, of course. So it'll be 4 bolts back at the rear U-joint. Drop that drive shaft and yank her off. We'll have a little bit of wiring to take care of at the starter. You can see it there. That'll have to come off, of course. We'll have some exhaust, some header bolts, of course. We'll have to take those off. We'll have to take this off. This is for our temp sending unit. Take that guy off. Oil sending unit, same deal. Take that off. I don't even know where the oil sending unit one is. Where is that? I don't see it. I thought it was a plastic line. Maybe it's electric though. But yeah. Maybe that's it there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We got a ground here we have to take off. I've seen another one. Yeah, we got a ground here we'll have to take off. We got fuel lines to take care of. We got brake lines to take care of. We got shifter cable to take care of. I think that's going to do it. Well, obviously the steering column will have to be disconnected from this.
Just to confirm, you'd like to call Michael back home?
Cancel.
Okay, I won't do it.
Better not. Yeah. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Should I keep going? I think I should. What time is it? Man, it's only like 12:30. That only took like an hour. Not bad. Be better if I had a couple of guys instead of that hoist, but I'd have to be friendly and have friends. We all know that's not happening. Okay, so maybe I'll get this guy yanked out of here. All right, let's do it. Okay, so I got a little ahead of myself here. So I dropped those 4 bolts off the subframe, as you can see. Oh boy, look at this. I forgot that. That's what's holding me up. All right. Hold on. I gotta really testing the tensile strength of everything I forgot to take off. Hopefully that's it. Oh, sure looks like it. All right. So let's talk about what I did here. So I took off 1, 2, 3, 4 subframe mounts on the back. If you were doing this, you'd likely have to disconnect your speedometer cable. Mine was melted. And had to disconnect my shifter lever right here, this guy. Just toss that back there. Automatic, we're not doing that. What else? Had to disconnect, of course, my steering. A couple of brake lines here. These are the front. The rear, I just unbolted. You see the rear was bolted up here, here, and also one inside here. I just unbolted them. Left it, it's still connected. That's fine and dandy. I put a little trolley on the back with a A little piece of dunnage, skid, railroad tie, whatever it is. Alright, so this is a clamshell style, and we need the other style. Yeah, so that's a style that matches our Nova, our Acadian. So let me toss these on real quick. And okay, so what I ended up doing is just putting these brake lines on over here. You see the brake lines?
Yep.
Okay, so I put those brake lines on, and these the stainless ones, and also these rubber ones. Then what I did was I just bring in the motor in. We're going to drop her on the subframe. And hopefully she plays nice. We'll see. I did have to put a jack in the center. That's more. Yeah, I might need a hand there.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's go on this side.
Okay, you want to just lift up on the tire?
Lift up on the top.
Yeah. Here's a little free tip for you. This works especially good if you're working alone. If you can't get that lined up, just grab a C-clamp, like a woodworking clamp. And I just put the clamp on there and then zipped her through. And now both motor mounts are, well, the bolts are in. I'll get them tightened up and we'll move on to getting this transmission hooked up, I guess. And just like that, we got her in. So the transmission is bolted to the cross member. The cross member is bolted to the subframe. I actually have to take it back out again because I got the wrong clutch in there. Actually, I don't have a clutch in there. Got to put a clutch in there. But we also want to do some 4-speed stuff. So this is going to require a ball here for a pivot. And it requires some mounting over here and a part for the clutch pedal and on and on and on. So I guess that'll be what's next. We'll get that stuff set up. And I got a new bell housing coming too, because that's a truck bell housing. And they want so much money for that ring with the conversion and shipping that it's almost cheaper to buy a brand new bell housing. So that's what I'm going to do. It's a few bucks more, but I get it tomorrow instead of, down the road. So that's next. Hang tight. Okay, so I have my lovely assistant out here today.
Hello.
And I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and clean up this firewall a bit. We're just going to paint it flat black or satin black, whatever I have in the cupboard. And then I also want to cut my hole for my shifter. Let me see if I can show you what I got going on down there. So, I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm not under there, but I did mark out a spot to crawl under and cut out the shifter. What I had done is I just went under there with everything in place and marked it out with the marker. Now I'll go under and I'll just hit it with the cutting disc, I guess. Mark that hole so the next time this comes in, it can stay in if this is painted. I think I'll also get rid of this too. I don't really need a heater in there. A fan will be enough to keep the moisture off. I don't plan on driving this in the winter, so I don't really need a heater core. And if I do, I'd need to change it out for the V8 one anyway. This comes out right at the back of the valve cover. So, well, that's today's project. Hang with me. things that I was looking for was a new shifter. So this one's okay. It does shift through the gears, although I kind of fight to find reverse. Now, if I was a guy who rebuilds these things, sure, but I'm not. Actually, the more I do this, the better it feels. I pulled it apart and greased it, but reverse is still a little fussy. Could be it's not even in the right place. I don't know. There it goes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then reverse. Okay, I guess it all is there. But it's not a real smooth shift. So I decided I'm just gonna swap it out. I was at the swap meet and I found, here, I'll grab it for you. Okay, so I got this shifter on. So there's 2 bolts that actually mount it to this mounting plate back here, this universal mounting plate. There's this bolt up here and then this guy down here. What you do is you get this guy in first. You want to set all of these up. So what I like to do is I like to set the center one first, which is your 1-2 gear, and then set up your 3-4, and then set up your reverse. So set that in, set your adjuster through, and then snug everything up so that this matches with that. And what happens when you're done, if you get them all exactly where they're supposed to be, this thing should just shift like butter. And then reverse back here like this. My reverse gear bar didn't work, so I gotta nip this off. I bought this at a swap meet, so none of this stuff knows about each other. So first, second, third, fourth, and then back here is reverse. And it's pretty good. Just pretty good. Can't really complain for a swap meet shifter. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, not bad. $100. I was pretty happy about it. In fact, I bought 2. So if you need one, I have another one. Where is it? Right here. This one supposedly has never been on a. Not that one. This one here supposedly he's never been on a car before. I got a set of rods for it too. For a Muncie, Borg Warner, Super C10, blah blah blah. Anyway, that'll do it for this one. Catch you on the next one. No, I think we'll try and throw it in there. Did I show you the firewall after I finished? I'm not sure I did. Just spray bombed it. Nothing spectacular. Just trying to make it look better than it was. So I'm gonna slide this guy under, and maybe just line things up and see where we go from there. See how this shifter lines up. Hello, wife.
Hello, husband.
Okay, so I'm going to crawl back underneath. I know this isn't a great way to show you, but believe me, underneath the hood ain't easy either, or rather underneath the dash. So I'm going to give you the short and sweet here. So this is the factory brake pedal, the automatic one that I had in there. And this is this clip here. You can see it pretty easy when you're under there, and it just pops up, slides out, boom, it's off, and that rod comes out. It's pretty quick and easy. The new one going in, that rod has been replaced with this whole assembly. I'll put it on the floor here for you. Okay. So now, oh boy. So now this clutch pedal here. This is the rod. That's going to go in just like that. Okay, and then this is our new piece for the brakes. I'm putting on power brakes. So that means I got to move it from the top one to the bottom one. If you got manual brakes, you use the top hole here. If you got power brakes, you use the bottom hole. Power brakes comes down at an angle and shoots up. Manual brakes keeps it pretty steady and goes straight in and out like that. So that's why that moves around. Now what I like to do, because I've made this mistake in the past, is I put these in bare before. They go in pretty good. And then I go and lay on my back underneath the dash. I install this with this clip, which is easy to do on the bench, not so much fun on your back. Same as this rod with this clip, easy to do on the bench, sucks a little bit on the floor. And same as these rubbers, you know, putting it on ahead of time, yeah, way better. Let's go try and throw this in. I don't know how much you can be able to see. I'm old, fat, and I'll see if I can squeeze you guys in here or not. Okay, so when I bought this used transmission, it came with bell housing, clutch, flywheel, all the good stuff for small block Chevy, but an older style. So it didn't really, the flywheel wouldn't work with this, neither would the clutch. And as it turns out, he actually snuck a truck bell housing in on me instead of a car one. It was supposed to be a car one to go with the Borg Warner Super T10. So initially, I was gonna order up a Novak ring, and that ring goes from the, what is that, 5 1/8 or something like that, and this is 4 11/16, and it's just a ring that goes inside the truck one to make it smaller so it fits with this one. Unfortunately, it was going to cost me with shipping more than it would for this aftermarket bell housing, which came the next day to my door on Amazon. And before you start and say, well, where was it made? We know where it was made. I don't have to look. Is it going to fit? Oh, man. Cut. Up a new clutch, and I ordered up a new bell housing as well, because this is actually a truck bell housing. Now the truck bell housing will fit on and work, but you need to run a ring between your transmission and your bell housing, because this is opened up to what, 5 1/16 or something like that. This is 4 11/16, or this is 5 1/8. Whatever, you need this thin ring that goes in there. I don't have it. So I think what we're going to do for today is we're just going to bolt this guy up, call her good for today, and carry on with the install, knowing I'll have to go back at some point, pull this transmission, and install that ring. But for right now, we got our new starter on, because this is a 153 tooth flywheel instead of the 168, and we got our new clutch in, pressure plate, all that good stuff. Bell housing's going on now. Then we'll slap that transmission on. I want to do one final adjustment on the shifter, because when I installed it, I dragged the shifter handle, and now it's a little bit out of adjustment, so I want to fix that too. So anyway, that's going to do it for now. I'll bring you back once we get this installed, and we're looking at dragging this in. Okay, so there you got it. We have her back installed. Let me show you what you missed. So basically we shimmied and shaked and got this back into position, and it takes some finesse back and forth and side to side. But the big thing to know is, like, basically you're gonna get it close. Let me just grab a light. Yeah. So basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna get it close to where you know, where you think you had it. And then what I did was I used These new bolts that came in my Amazon suspension kit. Don't do that, by the way. Yeah, I saved a few bucks, but these bolts don't even fit. These, I believe these are metric anyway. They do work good enough for this. If you look under there, you'll see there's a hole right up top here. And what you're supposed to do is line up this hole and that hole. And if you can do that here and on the other side, which I did, then you're set, you're golden. We'll get you close enough for the alignment shop to do their thing. So that's good, that's good. All four are tightened up. That's awesome. We put in our new control arms, they're good. We put in our disc brakes, it's good. We, we had to hook up our steering column again, that's good. We had to, here, let me show you. I was waiting for a delivery for these guys. Were the big holdup today. So that goes on your block, right? That's for your clutch lever, I guess you'd call it. Rides on this on the block, and then something similar off the frame. So I thought I had that. It's supposed to come in the kit. Did I lose it? No, believe me, that's possible. Did it not come in the kit? Also possible. Anyway, I got that in. That's this guy here. So that runs to the block on that side. This little bracket goes on this side. This guy comes up, and that attaches to the clutch pedal. Which, yeah, we got our clutch pedal and our brake pedal in there. We got that done. That's that was nothing. That's piece of piss. Same as the brakes. We've got our brake booster bolted on, just 4 bolts, nothing special there. The master is 2. It's not actually bolted on yet. Don't be fooled. That is just dummy set like that. I want to bench bleed that. I don't believe in bleeding it on the vehicle. Not my cup of tea. We got a few things to do. We got to do the throttle cable. We got a little bit of wiring that still needs to be taken care of. And of course, the rear brake lines, and then bleed these brakes. And we should be good to go. But the big thing that I wanted to do was this subframe and that transmission, and we got that done. Let me show you how my swap meet shifter ended up. So it came with its own rods, but I think they're wrong for it, or at least wrong for this application. I would end up using the rods that came with mine and then set her up. First, second is good, third and fourth is good, and then reverse comes over. It's awful close to that steering wheel and goes up. Now I could put this shifter on the other side, and I just might do that. That would actually move the shifter handle more to the center of the car, get it off my steering wheel. But I think it's offset on the console. I do have a console for this too. So we'll wait and see. Where I ended up cutting it was fine on the back. It clears everything, but I didn't need to take as much out the front as I did. I know in the past I've been concerned about the shifter levers and whatnot, but it seemed to be okay. So I'll probably end up putting this back, this front little bit. I still have the piece, so I think I'll tap that up, weld it back in, just call her good. No sense bringing in that hot exhausted air through here if we don't have to. And then I'll just put a piece of rubber over the rest of it. So I'll put that piece back, and yeah, call her good. So the shifter's good, the clutch feels good, the transmission shifts good. Still need to put the drive shaft in. I don't have the proper yoke for this transmission yet. It's on order. It'll be here soon. When I come back next shift, we'll get all this stuff buttoned back up, get her running and driving again. We'll take her for a rip with the 4-speed, see how that goes, before the snow flies, which could be next shift. I hope not, though. Yeah, so I'll do it for this one. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you haven't subscribed yet, do me a favor, think about doing so. I don't have a lot of subscribers around here. Really appreciate it. Until the next one, guys, catch you on the flip side.